cultural temperature right now, at least in Ireland, is don't mention the J word. Hi guys, my name's Father Columba. You're watching Little by Little. I'm a Franciscan Friar of the Renewal and I like cake. Okay, and Jesus. Do you ever feel awkward about mentioning God or mentioning your faith in polite company, non-believing company? Just awkward. Except when it isn't. For some people it's not awkward. How do they get there? How do they get to the point where they're able to talk about God and their friends go, oh yeah, okay, they believe in God. I heard this in a talk because most talks are not new, they're borrowed or stolen. Either one, whichever you prefer. The first time you mention anything to your friends and they've never heard of it ever, then it's just going to be weird. That's just life. Let's say you're in secondary school, you're in high school, and you mention to your friends who've never cooked ever that you love to cook, and you start going on about like garlic and stuff. They're just going to be like, they might be like, oh, cool, yeah, cook with, I'll eat your food, because they know what it is to eat food and they've seen people cook before. But they still might be like, really? You're into that? Maybe that's not a great example, but anytime you bring something up new, especially if it's something that people have no connection with whatsoever, it's just weird. But with these things, over time, if you keep mentioning them, they become normal. So the first time you say it, it's, oh gosh, how am I going to do this? Second time, it's still a bit weird. Maybe there'll be eye rolling. Maybe there'll be just, whatever. Maybe there'll be an argument. Maybe they'll be totally put out by it. And it's the same with our faith. So if we never mention God, if we never mention prayer, if we never mention the fact that we go to Mass on Sunday, etc., then if you ever do mention it, it's super awkward and weird. But things cease to be weird when they become normal, and they become normal by you mentioning them. Just start to mention normal, simple things. You don't have to mention, oh, this is my whole conversion story. That's definitely something I would encourage you to do, but that has to happen at a specific time when someone's really open. But just in regular life, just don't edit yourself unnecessarily. But also, you're not trying to force your faith, and don't try to force your faith on anybody. We always propose, not impose these things. You also don't have to hide the fact that, oh, I believe that there is a God. And I believe that God is really loving. He is not just unspeakably loving, is love. Has worked out a plan to bring me to him, that I can exist with him for all eternity, even after this biological life has ceased. That I believe that. That's okay. That's okay that you believe that. And start to mention it. What you do when you mention it and make it normal for yourself in your conversation with people. Yes, with your believing friends, but with your unbelieving friends. And if they have a problem with it, say, this is just what I believe. I'm not trying to make you believe anything, but I'm just saying I was at Mass on Sunday and I met such and such a person. Just normalizing it and saying, I was at a conference on the weekend and it was about my faith, and it was really cool. This thing came up in conversation, and this is why I bring it up. Boom, and I start, talking about that. But I don't hide the fact. And guys, the first time, there's going to be eye rolling and there's going to be weirdness. This might be a test of the friendship. Like if they keep doing the eye rolling, the fourth, fifth, sixth time you've mentioned this, kind of go, hey, do you have a problem with somebody who believes in God? Because you seem really uncomfortable anytime I mention it. And I'm not trying to force anything on you, but what's going on there? This is just normal. Like most people who have ever lived have believed in a God. What's your problem? Normalize things. I've given you the image before of being a thermostat, not a thermometer. Thermometers sense the temperature of the room around them. And so too, we can just be like, what's the cultural temperature? Okay, the cultural temperature right now, at least in Ireland, is don't mention the J word. Oh my God, shh, no, don't say Jesus. So if I'm a thermometer, I'm just going to go along with culture, and that means I can't really talk about my faith. But I recommend not being a thermostat. The thermometer, be a thermostat instead. Thermostats tell the room the temperature. It takes a while, and there's tension. Thermostat's pointing at 22, and the room is like, it says 15 in here, it's 52. But then the radiators switch on because the thermostat's the boss. Thermostat's the one who gets to decide what's going to be in the culture or not, and the room will eventually warm up. It'll happen. And guys, that just can normalize things. Just be a thermostat. Just saying, do you know what? I am no longer hiding the fact that I believe. This doesn't mean, as I said, that you're going to, make constant attempts to talk about your faith to people who have no interest. But it does mean that if it fits naturally in the conversation, I'm not going to edit out the fact that I was at a retreat on the weekend. I'm just going to mention it and whatever about the result. And you just do just a little mention, and then you move on. And move on with life and move on with normal conversation. But then the next time that it comes up, you mention something else. And you just do it. No apologies. No apologies, guys. You don't have to apologize for being you. You don't have to apologize for believing in a loving God. You don't have to apologize for following him. He's really good, and he is worthy of a little bit of embarrassment. He's worthy of me taking on a little bit of eye rolling from one tiny human. I think I might survive that. My heart doesn't always feel it well, but it actually will survive that. I encourage you to give it a go. Give it a go. Be not afraid. As St. John Paul II would say, do not be afraid to open wide the doors to Christ. And so too, let's not be afraid to open up the doors of our little culture, our little circle of influence to Jesus. Let him in there. Let him in. And in the midst of it, pray for them. Pray for your friends. Eventually, they'll start to get it. It's like, this is actually normal because they like you, right? That's why they're your friend. Like, oh my God, this person who I like and is a normal person, they actually believe. Oh, it doesn't just normalize you being a believer. It normalizes belief. And maybe no one's ever done that for them. To them, it's just weird because nobody's talking about this until you do. So just start talking about it. Make it normal. There's so many people being silent in the nation and the world because they're ashamed. Let's decide to stop being ashamed of the gospel, if that might be on your heart at all, and instead to speak up in very simple ways. But brothers and sisters, it is so powerful. There you go. God bless you. I hope that's helpful. Bye-bye. Bye. Oh, does this zoom in on me? I think sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know.